about the specifications of the Mi 10 Pro. So the Mi 10 Pro is the higher variant of the Mi 10, which I think I have covered. I don't remember exactly. If I have not, I will be covering that again. So the Mi 10 Pro's specifications look quite interesting, and it has been launched in China but is yet to be launched in India. So without any further ado, let us start and talk about the specifications of the Mi 10 Pro. Talk about the design of the Mi 10 Pro. The Mi 10 Pro comes in a glass back with a glass front, both protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and an aluminum frame. The device looks and feels quite premium in the hand, and you will have no problem thinking that this device is a premium device. Colors, however, are subtle and not too gradienty, which some people may like, because this is a device meant for professionals and not for the, like, it is not aimed at the youth, because the youth usually buys cheaper devices, as in there is a bit of a budget restraint sometimes, and this is kind of Xiaomi's flagship area, so they don't want to experiment too much because they know that this is a flagship device, and everybody knows that flagship devices sell a bit less than regular devices, because obviously more the price the lesser the sales, because except for Apple, because I don't know how they do it, but most devices, if they get expensive, people refrain themselves from buying it. So the design looks good, so you don't have to worry about that. Talk about the display. The Mi 10 Pro has a 6.67 inch FHD Plus Super AMOLED panel. This is a good panel, and as it is Super AMOLED, it is made from Samsung, and Samsung obviously makes one of the best panels out there. Also, this device has 90Hz refresh rate with 180Hz touch sensing rate. So as I have explained, refresh rate is something else which I have explained thoroughly in another video. But refresh rate is something like when you tap the display with your finger, the time of the display means recognizing your touch is termed as touch rate. So that is when it is a bit increased, as in 180 Hz, then you will feel that the device follows through with your finger and does not have that slight lag, because you can actually notice it with your slow motion. If you take a slow motion, you will actually notice that fact. So the display is good, and I think that it is one of the best displays out there. Talk about performance. This is an area where the Mi 10 Pro is really good, and it is the real pro in this matter, because it has a Snapdragon 865 processor. This is the latest 7nm chipset, which is also 5G enabled, and which is the best available Android processor available out there, except for counterparts from like Exynos. But actually the best performer in this group is the Snapdragon 865. So performance is an area where you do not have to worry, because this device is a good performer. Talk about cameras. It's had a quad camera setup with a primary 108 megapixel sensor, which is the same sensor found on the S20 Ultra and the Mi Note 10, and this is the same Samsung camera sensor that we have seen in a few devices. It is paired with the 8 megapixel telephoto sensor, 12 megapixel portrait sensor or depth sense. Actually they have named it portrait, but it is actually like it to increase the shallow depth of field effect, and a 20 megapixel ultra wide sensor. So the ultra wide sensor is a bit larger, and this is a curious fact, but we have to wait for the full review, and I will be also doing a full review on this device as soon as the device is a bit more tested thoroughly. So according to me, the cameras, going by specifications, look quite good for the price, and maybe they will be good. Talk about what do I think of this specification list. I think it is a good device, but let us see the truth and let us see the overall usage, because this device starts at 51,000 rupees in China. In exchange rates, or conversion, you will find that it is around 51,000 rupees, and that is not a small price to pay, considering that the Mi 10 was supposed to be launched around 45,000 rupees rumored, and it did not because of the coronavirus cases and impending lockdown. So we do not know what the pricing of the Mi 10 will be, and it is not sure whether the Mi 10 Pro will be coming to India or not. But if it does, I think it will be a good seller if its pricing is aggressive.